Let's go! You guys like the Ferns, do you? Anyway, we got an Elias Ricks film study to do today, and it's crazy. The Pick-6 was absolutely phenomenal, but it was actually the play after it that shows you the power that this guy has on the field. So obviously, subscribe, like, live streams, you know what to do. Let's get to it! Zach Galifianakis ain't got nothing on me. Let's go. The Eli Ricks effect, 13:38 left to go in the second quarter, reliving one of the great pick sixes in LSU history right here. Boom! Elias Ricks on Heisman finalist Kyle Trask. So we're going to break down this all-22 version of this play, and you'll also see the end zone camera angle right here. So I need to do a better job of explaining certain terms because in our spring game film study, I kept using the words all 22 and that I didn't have all 22 angles of the LSU spring game. Now, this is the end zone camera, and what the end zone camera does a better job of is studying offensive line play and blitz pickups. But in this case, the end zone camera is very helpful because this play was made in the slot and we could see Elias Ricks' eyes on the play. And I know a lot of people did not like that Elias Ricks hot dog this, but I like it. That's who he is personally. And, you know, to have that dog mentality, that I'm better than you mentality, is one that you would like to see from more defensive backs. That means he's playing with that confidence and that swagger that we love from Elias Pick-6 Ricks. So let's break this down. And I want to shout out one of my favorite follows on Twitter, James Light. Now, I want to warn you about James's Twitter is that he is an actual coach, and coaches speak different languages than we do because they use terms such as this tweet when James Light actually broke this play down. Perfect cover 7 route match here from LSU. Box to the bunch, weak side playing solid technique, meaning he will bracket weak or close the middle of the field based on the eyes of the quarterback. Man on number 1 and number 2 weak. So, that sounds very complex, and it is, okay? Once again, I'm better at, line play because I was a lineman. I'm still learning coverages and terms and all of that. I'm not Ted Wynn, not Brian Baldinger, and definitely not a James Light when it comes to football knowledge. But I will simplify this to the way I understand it. So the one thing about the all-22 is you could see everyone, but it doesn't include, it's just a coach's tape. You got to include context. And as you guys know, with our film studies, we like to break down every last little thing. Someone mentioned to James Light that on the broadcast, you can hear the Florida bench yelling out, box, box, which is essentially a coverage term, and you'll see what box actually means in just a second. Also, I like to provide every last little bit of context. The first quarter, it was a 7-7 game. It was a weird quarter. Florida didn't finish a drive. We had a 4th down stop. We scored a touchdown. They scored a touchdown. And here we are. Florida is marching along here, and we need a big play. They're in plus territory. It's the Bo Pelini defense, and so on and so on. So, first thing, you notice not who's on the field, but who isn't on the field. Obviously, LSU is not playing Derek Stingley in this game, but he did dress out so LSU could have enough guys playing. Also, Cordell Flott at this point was ejected. Now, remember, LSU will probably keep their starting secondary next season, except Jay Ward, who is playing in place of Cordell Flott, will be the safety alongside Todd Harris, and next season, will Dwight McGlothern find a way on the field? Well, we'd have to figure out how to put him on the field because the starting secondary next year for LSU looks to be Jay Ward and Todd Harris and Elias Ricks, Derek Stingley, and Cordell Flott. But Dwight McGlothern had a dominant spring game and just an overall dominant spring, so we'll see what happens. And this is what we're trying to figure out. Should Elias Ricks play the slot corner or the nickel corner position where we can see him make more plays such as this one? So that's something we're going to investigate in this film study today. Also, Notice who's not on the field for Florida. So obviously Kyle Pitts was controversially left out of this game, but Florida on this play also didn't have Kadarius Toney on the field, who was by far their best receiver last season, and he was resting on this play. So this is a good opportunity for LSU to take a risk, to jump a route, because Tricks for kids. Kyle Trask, his two best receivers are not on the field. So all of that considered, we're going to break down all the great things of Elias Ricks' play, including this iconic pick-6 against Florida. So what you'll see here is Kyle Trask is looking left, and LSU is playing man coverage, and we're going to miss Jabril Cox because of this. This was by far Jabril Cox's best game, knowing all the crazy plays he made in this game. He really blew me away when watching his film in this game. He was guarding receivers 40 yards down the field, and notice he stride for stride against the backup tight end here for Florida. But Kyle Trask looks left, and what you'll see here, remember that term box? Well, this is what LSU is doing. They're boxing these wide receivers in to guard these two guys. And what Elias Ricks is doing, and notice how quickly and this is a true freshman, okay? So normally Elias Ricks is not playing over the middle of the field. Normally he's one of these outside corners. And what makes this coverage so interesting is this, all right? Elias Ricks never really lines up here. So if you're Kyle Trask, you're thinking, okay, this could be man-to-man coverage because it is rare for all three of your corners to be on one side of the field. This is a linebacker guarding this tight end, and this is a linebacker here. So Kyle Trask is making some pre-snap reads, and he's probably thinking, okay, since it's man-to-man coverage, Elias Ricks is probably with him, and then two safeties or whatever over the top. And he looks left, and he just assumes that 89 right here is just going to be wide open underneath these two routes. But little does he know, LSU is running this box technique. But still, yes, this was a great call by Bo Pelini to run this coverage. And ironically, Bo Pelini had a few other great devised defensive schemes in this game. This was one of his better games, even though Florida did have 600 yards of offense on LSU. Still, this was a good call by Bo Pelini, but it takes a special athlete to risk this. And notice he's reading these two guys in, and he notices this. And what you'll see here is Kyle Trask just does not see him at all. But part of the reason why Kyle Trask doesn't see him is because this is still a long way for Elias Ricks to drive down and confidently make this play. And you'll see, watching Elias Ricks' head, immediately he knows this guy underneath running this route could be getting the football, and Elias Ricks immediately processes this information, and this is just dead man walking, and he catches it clean. And notice he gets hit in the head with this play, and he still makes the pick-6. And we're actually going to break this down from the end zone angle as well, just so you could see. And it's rare we get such a good look of coverage from a tight end zone camera such as this one. And I want to make a quick broadcasting note. This was actually the camera that filmed the end of the game. Because of the fog, we had to use the over-the-top sky cam for the broadcast footage. So that's what this is right here. I don't want y'all to think that it was just some random drone. Some of you already knew that. And I've actually worked crew for a lot of college football games. These are metal rods that are connected to the corners of the stadium. This thing is a pretty magical device. But anyway, we move along here. Obviously, LSU doesn't get too much of a pass rush. But you see here, this is Elias Ricks, picking up this coverage, and he immediately reads this and makes an educated guess that if Kyle Trask is throwing this football underneath, I'm going to beat him to it. And you notice, look at how quickly he drives down, catches it all hands, and takes a lick. Now, I want you to see this. You don't really see, because it happened so fast, this is getting whacked while you're catching this football. And how many times have you seen defensive backs drop this and not run it back? It is unreal how many interceptions are dropped by defensive backs. And he catches it, not only catches it, he doesn't fall down. He keeps his feet. Good hustle here by Jay Ward, who will be a safety next season. He had a great game in this one. And Elias Ricks scores. So, this is a question you have to ask yourself if you're LSU, all right? You run this box technique, and Elias Ricks is your slot corner here. You know, is Cordell Flott making this play? I doubt it. Is any other slot corner for LSU making this play? Maybe. I'm not so sure. But this is just really special football IQ. And what I want to do on this film study is not just break this play down, because this is such an iconic play. It's what did this play do to the rest of the game? That's what really fascinates me, because I know it's cliche, and I know I say it all the time. Plays don't exist in a vacuum. These are 17 to 23-year-old young men playing in an emotional environment, high-stakes game, college football playoff berth on the line, LSU down to 50 scholarship guys healthy. And what I want you to do is, Kyle Trask is having to carry this play in this game because he doesn't have his best, player in Kyle Pitts. He doesn't have Kadarius Toney. So let's see if this play had any effect on the rest of the game. And the answer to that is it actually had a profound impact. And the fact that you can pick six a ball changes the entire trajectory of the game, because it forced Kyle Trask to second guess himself on so many different throws. Alrighty, so this is where the fun begins. This is where college scouting meets teenagers in an emotional game, meets emotions flaring, college football playoff on the line. You're in front of your home fans without your best player healthy. So really think about how plays change games. So this is 12:59 left to go in the second quarter. And the play I'm about to show you is the first play after the Elias Ricks film study. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to play the play at full speed, okay? Now, there is a lot to break down on this play, and it doesn't look like it. It looks like it's just a normal incompletion. I'm even going to give you the end zone camera view, and we're going to actually do a little bit of trivia. So I want you to watch this play and see if something clicks. Now notice, it was a trick play. So Dan Mullen just saw his team have a pick-6, all right? And he's looking to get a tie game immediately. He's looking for something quick, all right? And an easy throw for his quarterback, Kyle Trask, to make. And if you're watching this on a premiere, I'm going to let you answer in the chat. If you're watching this just as a regular video, I'm actually going to give you a few options right here. Who did Dan Mullen steal this play from? Okay, you have options here. Ohio State, the NFL, Alabama, or a high school team, all right? So while you stew over that question, here's more fern content. Look at the ferns. They're nice and healthy and beautiful, and it's a rainy day today. Blah. So look, we like to have fun, talk LSU football and other things. So make sure you come by some of our live streams Tuesdays and Saturday nights at 7 p.m. Central. We also do special streams for the draft and games and all that stuff. But what's really fascinating is that you can actually join the PHL movement by buying a shirt or dropping a Venmo, Cash App. And you're seeing a few names of people that have bought shirts, and that is fantastic. But obviously, the best thing you can do if you're not able to do any of those other things is obviously like this video and share this video not just with an LSU football fan, but someone that loves to look at content and think about LSU football deeply. That's what we're going for here. So let's get to the answer of this question. Alabama. He stole this play from the 2019 LSU versus Alabama game where Derek Stingley Jr. was Elias Ricks in this situation, okay? And what happens is Florida knows whenever they check like this that every time that they do that, LSU, like they did in 2019, would take a look at the sideline. And what happened in 2019, this was actually Derek Stingley Jr., and this was Devonta Smith, and they got an easy touchdown against us because we were still looking at the sideline. And, Devonta Smith burned Stingley and whatever. So that shows you, okay? Dan Mullen is calling a very genius play. His quarterback just gave up a pick-6. He's downtrodden. That's something Kyle Trask never does. So Dan Mullen's like, okay, let's get a quick strike. Let's go to a play that I know is going to work. Now, this is what's fascinating about it. I am not Dan Mullen, and I don't know the Florida Gators. However, for this trick play to actually work, you need a few things to go in your favor if you're the offense. Number one, this trick play works against corners that are closer to the line of scrimmage because obviously you're trying to throw a deep pass, all right? So, you want your corners to be close. In Derek Stingley's case, he was right up on Devonta Smith, so he really had no chance to recover. But the play where you want to actually throw this football, no matter who the corner is right here, is actually this guy. And the reason why you want to throw it to this guy is because of peripheral. I can't even say that word right. Peripheral vision, all right? So the reason why you want to throw it to the near side is because if you're this near side corner, you're looking at the sideline, whereas in Dwight McGlothern's case, he was looking kind of at the sideline, but he was more focused in on the receiver at the whole time. But even if Dwight McGlothern was looking at the sideline, because of his peripheral, he would be quicker to react because he would be seeing guys move, right? He would feel these guys starting to move. Whereas if Elias Ricks was on this side of the field, he would be able to see through his periphery that the play has already started. But because Elias Ricks was looking at this sideline, you're locked in on this sideline and you can't really see these guys move at all. But notice what happens here, all right? So I don't know how Kyle Trask was coached in practice for this play. Obviously, this was scouted against LSU, knowing that they do this very thing. And I don't know if Kyle Trask was taught to throw the football to this guy no matter what, or throw it to whoever, but you don't want to actually throw the football here to Trevon Grimes. In fact, you don't even want to throw the football here to Kadarius Toney. You want to throw the football here to this guy because he's closer to the sideline and he can't see guys move, and he's going to be the last one to react, kind of like Derek Stingley versus Alabama when he looked at the LSU sideline right there. I hope that makes some kind of sense. Anyway, what did Kyle Trask do? Well, he actually looked this way. You see? He looked this way and said, oh, well, that's the guy that just had a pick-6 against me. I'm still looking this way. And he throws it this way anyway, where LSU was ready for it. Because Ricks or McGlothern was playing so far off, he chunks it up here to Trevon Grimes for an incompletion. But this is where pick-6s change games, people. And you couldn't really see this on the broadcast tape. But if he would have just thrown the football here, Ricks was slow to react. He actually fell down. That's a touchdown. Look at all that separation. If you throw this football to this player right here, and I know his two best receivers are down here, the trick play would have worked. It would have worked. And knowing Dan Mullen, I would guess he would have it coached to throw. If you're stealing this play from Alabama, you want to actually run the play just like Alabama ran it I think he would want him to throw it to the near side guy. And he's beaten. So, here's the thing. I am not Kyle Trask. I don't know Kyle Trask. I've never interviewed Kyle Trask. I can't go into his thought process on this play. And this isn't even one of the 10 most memorable plays from this absolutely bat-you-know-what crazy game. But my best guess is when a quarterback had just thrown a pick-6 to this guy, you're not even going to think about throwing to his side of the field anytime soon. Now, he did complete a pass on Ricks a little bit later on a comeback route to Grimes. But if he just would have stuck with this, instead of just not throwing it to Rick's side of the field, he would have had a touchdown. Or at the very least, a huge completion. See it from the end zone camera. He's looking left. And then you just said, look, I'm not even bothering with Ricks. McLaughlin was ready for it the entire time. So, did Kyle Trask in this situation decide to not throw the football to Elias Ricks' sides of the field because Elias Ricks just had a pick-6? I can't answer that confidently. No one can. Only Kyle Trask knows the answer to that question. And Dan Mullen, Brian Johnson, the quarterback's coach. But what I can tell you is you can ask any quarterback. Pick-6s change games. And for this play to be right after that pick-6, if I'm a quarterback, I'll say, look, I'm not throwing to one side of the field anytime soon. I'll roll it again. It's truly amazing just how good the scouting is at the college level to know that this play would have worked. Pick-6s change games. So, what ended up happening on this drive? Well, Florida actually drove the football down the field, but this drive actually ended with that crazy ricochet interception, which was, really lucky. And Florida, lived to see another day. And Kyle Trask would say, look, we didn't throw an interception. We still drove the football down the field. But that's what Elias Ricks does to a football game, folks. I can't confidently say, well, he didn't throw it there because of this or that or whatever. But what I can tell you is it has a huge impact on the game, especially since it was early in the game. And you can't understate that because LSU was so undermanned. And, it's essentially taking away a side of the field and a player eliminating options for an offense that already had their best option eliminated because they decided to sit Kyle Pitts for this game. So, yes, Kadarius Toney still went off on LSU. Yes, Florida's offense still put up huge numbers on LSU. And yes, LSU was very lucky in many ways to win this football game on a 57-yard field goal. But the truth remains the same, folks. Elias Ricks changed his game. And boom! The Ferns are still looking great, and you are too. Well, I can't actually see you, but you know what I mean, okay? This was so much fun. Now, I do want to add a quick little edit here. I actually cut out 4 more plays, which actually dove deeper into a new topic. Where is the best place to put Elias Ricks on the field? Because the interception was made when obviously he was playing over the middle in that slot corner nickel position. And in that position, Cordell Flott struggled last season. So, should LSU go back to that starting secondary, or do they put Dwight McLaughlin at the slot or put him to the outside? So I want to do an entire video just based on that. So be on the lookout for that, because we'll dive deep into a few other philosophy changes that I think Durante Jones is going to bring to this defense as well. This was just a film study to break down the greatness of Elias Ricks. Also got to add this in as well. If I'm not mistaken, Elias Ricks was actually playing through an injury in this game as well. So think about all the stuff that this guy accomplished just in one game. And it's truly freaking incredible. So be on the lookout for that next film study, because we're going to dive deep into should play where. What is the best LSU secondary? Is the best member of their secondary not even on campus yet? As always, thank you guys for the support. It is Power Hour LSU. Boom! I think we're doing buffalo shrimp tonight. Let's go. Buffy shrimp. Let's go.